Let's talk about kNN or k-nearest neighbors, a super simple and popular supervised machine learning algorithm. It's used for both classification and regression, but for today, let's focus on kNN as a classification algorithm because that's where it really shines. Also, kNN is known as a lazy algorithm, and we'll see later why it's called so. Alright, before we dive in, here's an idea behind kNN. It assumes that similar data points are close to each other and can be assigned to the same category. Think of it like grouping friends who have similar hobbies and interests. They naturally stick together, right? Let's make this fun and visualize a few data set. Imagine we have two features. The y-axis shows juiciness and the x-axis shows the peel texture. Apples are smooth and not so juicy, so they sit here on the graph. Oranges, on the other hand, are juicy and have bumpy peels, so they fall over here. Now comes the fun part. We've got a new fruit and it has a bumpy peel at a moderate juiciness. How do we figure out that it's an apple or an orange? And here's where we enter kNN. In kNN, if k equals 1, kNN looks at just one nearest neighbor. The closest fruit is an orange, so we classify the new fruit as an orange. And if we set k equals 2, it looks at the two closest fruits. And guess what? They're both oranges. So again, the new fruit is classified as an orange. And that's basically how kNN works. It finds k closest neighbors and assigns the new data point to the majority category. Super simple, right? Now let's talk why kNN is so awesome. First, it's easy to implement. Like we just saw, it doesn't get any simpler than that. Second, it only has two hyperparameters. The first one is k, which is how many neighbors we consider, and the second one is the distance metric. We can either use Euclidean distance or Manhattan distance or Hamming distance or any other distance. And the best part, it's adaptable. If I add new data points, I don't have to retrain the model. But we know no algorithm is perfect and kNN has its challenges. For one, it's not scalable. As your dataset grows, it gets slower because kNN has to compute the distance between each data point and the new data point we're trying to classify, and then find k-nearest neighbors when making a prediction. And remember, we said kNN is a lazy algorithm in the beginning because it doesn't do any work until you ask for it. Only when I decide to classify a new data point, it starts calculating distance to every other data point, and then it finds k-nearest neighbors, and then it finally classifies the new data point. Imagine it's like keeping all your notes in one big notebook and then flipping through it every time you need to find something. So the bigger the notebook, the longer it takes. kNN also struggles with the curse of dimensionality. In high dimensional spaces, data points are spread out and it's hard to tell which ones are truly close. Techniques like feature selection or dimensionality reduction, they can help out here. And finally, let's talk about overfitting. If k is too small, like k equals